I will not discuss about the ingredient. You can read by the slide because time is limited. So I will conclude the important thing with this, like making in plastic bag 500 gram no oxygen inside because you know like nam hokai is fermented food that have lactic acid that they don't like oxygen. If like they have oxygen inside, the lactic acid may not grow and something else may grow like fungi or some parasites, and that's why we need to remove the oxygen. And for sure, it's really delicious, and actually it's not being sold in Tubkwang, but it's special for us for the food to make it.
And now about cattle weight evaluation, we're using heart rate, which is position material around breast of the cattle, and then we would measure the body length of the cattle by using measuring tape, and we use this equation in order to calculate the body weight. And at the Tubkwang Research Station, they make this application in order for us to easier for us to calculate the weight of the cattle, and it is only on Android only, but using Google Pay. And we also use the cattle weight that we use in order to calculate the amount of the drug vaccine to inject to the cow. And for food and mouth disease, we use 2 milliliter, inject 2 milliliter per cow. This one we don't use the weight. We use 2 milliliter for every single cow that we inject. But for this, we use this medicine, the better, in order to use as anti-parasitic, and we use 1 milliliter per 50 kilogram of body weight of the cow. And for albendazole, we use this one. We treat it, we inject it to the mouth. No, not inject. We treat the duct by oral, like put it in the mouth of the cow, and we start to treat parasites.
And next is dehorning. Dehorning, the objective of dehorning is we use to decrease cattle aggressive. Imagine if you have a problem with someone and you have a knife or you have a bare hand. This is what the teacher said, and the one that have a knife would be more aggressive. So which means if we dehorn it, it will be having less aggressive and it have something effective hormones. The tools that we use is fire-type dehorner, scissors, tetravet, aerosol, and insecticide powder, and cotton and tincture iodine tools. So it's like same like treating people that have wound or something like that. Step one, that we cut the hair around the horn, so it wouldn't hurt the hair so much, so it wouldn't burn. And the next is we use wire type dehorner to dehorn it, and then when we dehorn it done, so we treat it like a medical treatment. First tincture iodine, and second tetravet aerosol, and then insecticide powder to remove the parasite.
Okay, I'm going to talk about the hot iron branding. First is objective of this hot iron branding because it's easier to identify and collect data for each cattle. And we don't use cow ear tagging because it's easier to get rid of. And co-branding in the ear is harder to identify. The tool that we use for the hot iron branding is first one is a wooden plank to make the cow stable in the ground, rope to hold the leg together, and iron branding. Another one is first aid kit for the cattle after do a hot iron branding. The first one is a tetravet aerosol. Second is a insecticide spray. Third one is a cotton, and fourth one is a tincture iodine.
This one is the video that how to like make a car lay on the ground, but we can't open it because it's a PDF file. Okay, this one is see the working environment is okay. It's a quite a larger job, but it's learn a lot with it. You can see that we have to like use the 4 or 5 people to hold the cattle in the ground and tie their legs together. And after we tie their legs together, we have to put the plank in the middle of the cattle and make it under the forehead to make them stable. Okay, the method that like on the next picture you can see we have to put the plank in the middle of the cattle and we have to use hot iron grinding we have to do it 2 places. The first one is left side on the rear of the cattle and the front of the cattle. Good. And we know how to identify it. T3 is like a Tubkwang tree. You know where the cattle come from. And the number like 6211, 62 is a year of the cattle that born, and 11 is a number of the cattle that born in the year. Like it's 11th. Okay.
Next, I will talk about risk management and vaccination. In this session, we have learned and practice about risk management process, so that we work hard zero docking, keeping a middle piece, iron injection. Is some sort of practice. The benefit of this process is easy to take care of it and be able to classify and record it. Also prevent by from other people. They are rushing. We will read counterclockwise, and the back is star number and Y is peak number. We need to multiply every time. We need to summation it to get a number of the peak. For the peak rate, right? For the peak vaccination is at the age of 6 weeks, we need to have a vaccinated foot and mouth disease, and at the age of 7 weeks, we need to vaccinate swine fever. And this is video that we can open.
Pig semen collection and pig production testing. First, pig semen collection. We learn about how to prepare equipment and prepare ourselves before we collect the semen. This is a true picture. Is a name and dummy. That's the one equipment that we use. And then they also show us about how to natural breeding, and we told us about person told us about artificial breeding too. After we collect semen, we will observe the sperm by using microscope. And pre-production testing, in this process, it's for develop our breed. Then we have a three. First, ADG average daily gain is we calculate by weight final minus weight start divided by days. FCR is a feed conversion rate. We will calculate by feed weight divided by final weight minus weight start. This is a fact thickness. We will use a knife to cut open in the back of pig, and then we will use a slide back guide to measure how the thickness of skin and fat. And in order to have a food that's more expensive, but it can tell us of information like fat, muscle, and anything. Thank you.
Okay, I'm gonna suggest about something in the Tubkwang Research Station. First thing first is male dormitory is quite far from the part that we go to we have to walk around like 5 or 10 minutes to the cafeteria and the working space. And everything is great. Yeah, we have washing machine. We have like a washing machine that can wash, but can dry the clothes. Like we have like morning Ovaltine and and other snacks that contain a lot of energy to work in all day.
So maybe my expression about Tubkwang. Yeah, even it's far from the farm or something we work, but the dormitory is so well. And I like when like 13 guys live together in one room. We have different styles, many things happen, but okay, we understand each other, and they are good for preparing food. And something like I like the last meal, the chabu, it's delicious. And and thank you, Hadi, my chicken bacon. And I want to recommend to my junior next year, if you have chance to be a general practicum, choose Tubkwang. Thank you.